Hey everyone, how you guys going? Welcome back to my channel. This is the best channel for those who are wanting to gain weight by building muscle. Now, if you have seen my past couple of videos, you would know that I have kind of resumed into my own routine after a 3 months gap, a 3 months holiday. So I think this video is my low body workout from my second week back or third week back. I can't really remember. But yeah, so you will see me really focusing a lot more on activation and mobility and lifting light weights, but focusing more on forms and techniques and wanting to feel it in the actual muscle and those kind of things, right? So this video is going to be great for those who are wanting to resume just like myself after a bit of a gap, or else who are completely new to lifting weights. So great for basically anybody. So definitely stay tuned till the end, because I'm going to be explaining all the exercises, the techniques and so on, so that you guys get the best out of this video. So what you have seen so far is my 5-minute warm-up on that cycle that I used at my gym. And after that 5 minutes, I have been spending at least 10 to 15 minutes in just working on activating my muscles. As I shared in my last video as well, that after my holiday, I've been feeling really stiff. So to bring back that flexibility, I have been practicing a lot of dynamic stretching and those kind of things. By the way, I have filmed a whole separate video for that. So stay tuned on my channel if you want to learn a bit more about mobility, dynamic stretching and those kind of things. So of course, the first exercise has to be squats. Now, as you can see, I'm doing barbell squats here. You can do the exact same thing using dumbbells as well if you're training at home. Now, the whole idea when it comes down to squats is that first of all, you want to have that nice upright tight body, upper body, where you are keeping your abs engaged and everything like that, shoulders pulled back, chest out. And then the idea is that you want to sit backwards as if there is a chair behind you and you're sitting backwards, and make sure that your knees don't come or lean inwards when you're trying to perform your squat movement, right? Just make sure that your knees are following the same angle as your toes whilst you perform that up and down movement. Now, the second exercise is of course our deadlift. So again, using a super light weight, which is of course this 20 kgs barbell that I'm using, I kind of mock the movement so that I kind of understand that this is exactly what the movement is going to be, and this is how I'm going to be feeling in my muscle. So a few tips when it comes down to how to perform this exercise correctly from my side would be, when you're in the standing position, stand with a nice upright structure, as in shoulders pulled back, chest out, abs nice and tight. And then the idea is that when you are hinging at your hips, when you're performing that forward bend, you also want to shift your hips backwards. You want to drive your hips backwards so that you can create enough room for your spine to stay straight, as we don't want any curving happening at your spine, because that is when a lot of people experience low back pains, right? And once you've done that, how low you need to travel is just a little bit below your knees, where you can feel a good stretch in your hamstrings, and you stop at that point where you feel the most stretch, and then pressing your heels into the ground and using your glute muscles is how you want to lift yourself back up. The third exercise that I chose for this day was the sumo squats, of course. Again, it's a squat, meaning you need to sit backwards. You want to make sure that your knees are not falling inwards when you're performing the squat movement. And again, making sure that your upper body is nice and upright so that you are not overarching your back or whatnot, right? You want to really feel the squeeze in your glutes every time you're standing. Just squeeze your glutes, tighten them up, and then go back down and, again, pressing through your heels, lift yourself back up and perform this exercise, right? This is an amazing exercise for literally a whole egg. Like, it works on my quads, it works on my hamstrings, it works on my glutes. As soon as I was done with this exercise, I decided to throw in some banded abductions just to really enhance that burn that I was already feeling in the side of my glutes, that hip dips area that we all talk about. So to really create a lot more torture in that area, I performed as many reps as possible, to be honest, in each of those sets, and where I just couldn't go any further, I stopped there, and that is how I finished that superset. For the next exercise, I decided to do some unilateral, or if you want to call them B stance, Romanian deadlifts. I like to add unilateral movements in my workout plan from time to time, and that just so that I can focus on one leg at a time, because there is always a little bit of muscle imbalance. I'm sure you guys have noticed that too. So when you train them one leg at a time, you can really put all of that focus on that one particular leg. So that is exactly what I'm trying to do here. Now, I did the exercise first and I couldn't really feel much of a stretch in my hamstring, so I decided to throw in a little disc under my foot, which elevated my toes and placed my heel at a decline, which means I had a bit more room to lower myself and feel that extreme stretch in my hamstrings, right? So that is what I did, and I tell you guys, I was so sore in my hamstrings after this workout. And then of course I had to do another unilateral movement, which is our B stance hip thrust, which means again you're working on one glute at a time. So as you can see, for my working leg, I have made sure that my heel as well as my knees they are in one line, and I'm literally trying to perform a thrust at my hips. So the whole idea with this exercise is, a lot of people, they perform a lot of movement in their upper body, right? They bring a lot of momentum from moving the upper body too much, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that yes, there is of course going to be a slight movement in your upper body, because you don't want to arch your back by not moving your upper body. But of course the idea is that that up and down movement is performed using your glute muscles, right? You don't want to use the momentum from your upper body to lift that weight up. You solely want to use your glutes. And of course, when you are nicely lifted up and you have that tabletop going on, you really want to squeeze your glutes to actually really engage with those muscles and create that burn for yourself, right? You will see that I am staying on my heels, even on my working leg, so that I can actually put a lot more tension on the glute muscles. And I decided to do walking lunges as my finishing exercise on this particular day. So I aimed to do about 20 repetitions, just do about 2 sets of this exercise. Lift a decent amount of weight, not too much, because of course my legs were already completely exhausted by the end of this workout. So I just went ahead, picked up whatever weight I could, and did about 20 repetitions and did 2 sets of this. But when I started doing this exercise, I realized I did nothing for my calf muscles. So I decided to throw in some standing calf raises as superset with this exercise, just to ensure that I targeted all of my leg muscles and not missed out on anything, right? So that is basically what I did here. So yeah, this was the workout for today. Now I have included some of my stretches in this video as well, but again, a completely separate video is also going to be coming, where I'll be explaining every single of these stretch as well to you guys, so that you can incorporate those in your workouts as well, as stretching is highly important at the end of your workouts, to ensure that you don't get stiff and you have good flexibility, right? So anyways, you guys, I hope you will definitely try this workout out, and do let me know in the comments below, how painful was it, what kind of burn you felt, and of course if you have any questions regarding postures, techniques or whatnot, definitely ask those here. And do not forget to support your workouts with good surplus calories, as a workout is not going to do anything on its own if it's not supported by good recovery fuel. So please make sure you go ahead and do that. Anyways, on that note, stay fit, stay fierce, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.